Now, Tuesday does mark 5 weeks till the US election. At the moment, the polls are on a razor's edge with Kamala Harris slightly ahead. Joining me live is Republican strategist Matt Mackowiak. And Matt, how are you seeing it?
Yeah, I mean, it is on a nice edge. The simple reality is that in America, we've been pretty divided really since 2000. Our national elections have been really close. Electoral college has generally been pretty close. We're a 50-50 country, and we're seeing that in this race. There really are only 7 battleground states of the 50 that are truly competitive. Trump is trying to put New York, New Jersey, and Virginia in play. It's unclear to what extent he's doing that. This election is going to boil down to Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, and Michigan. But really, Pennsylvania is the largest prize, and both sides are fighting the hardest. Because if you win Pennsylvania, you basically have about a 90% chance of being the next president. So it's a very close race right now. Kamala Harris was rising as she became the nominee. She's come down a little bit. Trump's been a little bit up and down, but boy, they're trading in a very narrow range right now, and either outcome is certainly possible.
Matt, from an Australian lens, we just heard from our chief anchor, Kieran Gilbert, and he posed the question to President Biden, how long will the Quad last? Of course, it's a pivotal arrangement. I know it's not a historic arrangement. It's only been around for a small amount of time when you look at political history. But from an Australian point of view, it's very important. How do you view it from a Republican lens?
Yeah, look, we need alliances. I support NATO. I support the Quad. Australia's been an extraordinary partner for America for many, many years. We remember how close they were with our country after 9/11. And as we look to China, really as our number one opponent in the world, it's increasingly important that we have those alliances, in Asia. And whether it's Japan, whether it's South Korea, whether it's Australia, whether it's New Zealand, the United States should be deepening those ties economically, diplomatically, militarily, intelligence sharing. Obviously, the intelligence sharing that's done with Australia through the Five Eyes program is very significant. So you would hope that whether it's Harris or Trump, that those alliances would continue to strengthen. It's clear that Trump does have more of a nationalist view, and he's less of an interventionist and maybe even less of an internationalist than traditional Republican nominees have been. But I do think he sees China as a real threat. And so you would hope, and I actually would expect, that he'll continue to deepen those ties in Asia if he's elected president, if for no other reason than to kind of encircle China economically and diplomatically.
It's been a remarkable campaign. As we say, we've got a month or so to go. It could be an eternity in political terms. These two debates have had an enormous impact. We've seen Joe Biden debate Donald Trump and then leave the race. We've seen Kamala Harris come in and do particularly well. She's come out and said, I want to do a second debate on October 23. Of course, it's under the banner of CNN. Donald Trump says, no, it's too late.
Yeah, that's a good summary. That's basically where we are. The Harris campaign announced just in the last few hours they've accepted the CNN debate. There is a Fox debate also that's been put on the table that Harris has not accepted. So we're kind of debating about debates. It does appear that Trump has decided he doesn't want to do another debate. I think the oversimplified answer as to why that is that he quote unquote lost the first one. I do think Harris overperformed, and I do think Trump underperformed, and that was frustrating to a lot of Trump supporters in America. He didn't seem to take it seriously. He took the bait. He was defensive. He didn't really hold her accountable, and he certainly didn't fight with the moderators in a way that I think he could and probably should have, given how one-sided the debate was. But look, if he's not going to prepare and become more disciplined in the next debate, then he shouldn't do another debate. If he's going to do exactly what he did before and just do it a second time, that doesn't help him. So part of why he's not doing another debate is I don't think he thinks that he should do another one because he doesn't want to change his approach. And if that's true, then he shouldn't do another debate. But we'll see. We have a few weeks still for that decision to be made.
That's the challenge, isn't it, Matt, for Donald Trump right at the moment? And he hasn't been able to do it yet. He had a very choreographed view on Joe Biden and an attack plan. And, pardon me, every time he's baited by the vice president, he's taking it, and he can't quite get the lens right on how to attack his opposition.
Yeah, he really needed to ignore some of the attacks that she brought up, and he just doesn't have the ability to do that. I do think he did stay focused on immigration and on the economy, and that was something our people on my side of the aisle really wanted to see. But I also think there were a lot of missed opportunities. I think he, could have held her accountable on a number of issues. She didn't have to explain even on one issue why she changed her view from when she ran for president to where she is now in the period of four short years. But look, this election really is, I think, about whether you're satisfied with the direction of the country. And most people are simply not. Now, whether they think Harris is a change or a little bit of a change or ready to be president is a separate question. But if you like the direction things are going, you're probably only about a third of the country. And that vote is going to be strongly for Kamala Harris. For the other 2/3, it's up for grabs. A lot of them are going to be for Trump, and some of them are going to be in the middle. Do they vote at all? Who do they vote for? Where do they live? These battleground states are going to be very, very, very close. Pennsylvania is going to be decided by less than 2%. You could have 50,000 votes or 30,000 votes decide the next president. So it's a absolute sprint to go get those votes in these key areas for the next 5 weeks.
Absolutely. And a key to that, you would think, is very similar to what's happening here. Middle Australia and Middle America both have the same concerns. It's cost of living, it's economy, it's interest rates, it's what they do when they go to the supermarket. Have they got enough money to pay for it? And one of these two needs to go very, very strong. I love all the podcasts, the US political podcasts, there's lots of them. And many of the real experts are saying that someone has got to take hold of the whole idea of the economic impact, because that's what will change people's minds if they change at all.
Yeah, she's had real challenges, I think, delivering a coherent message on the economy. They point to statistics. Certainly, inflation has come down, but cumulatively, it's up 20% since she's been in the vice president's office with Biden as president. They point to the job creation. Well, 3/4 of the new jobs are part-time jobs that have been created while they've been in the White House. And like you point out, the inflation, the cost of living, the grocery store, energy costs at home, energy costs with your vehicle, are all through the roof. And of course, housing is through the roof as well. And so I think Trump has more credibility on the economy. The polling has shown that. He had a good record when he was there before, particularly before COVID hit. The challenge Harris has is she's effectively the incumbent. She's not really running on new policies that are going to be a significant change from the direction Biden's gone. It's a 5 or 10% difference. It's not a huge, significant difference. And that's one of the things the New York Times poll showed, I think, last weekend, is that for people who want to see change, 63% of them support Trump. Well, most people want to see change. So he has to be the change candidate. She has to figure out how to not be the incumbent. That's really how this race is breaking down. She needs an offensive and a successful message on both the economy and on immigration, as she's had trouble breaking through. She has a good message on abortion, and that's an issue where she can go on offense. But right now, the economy and immigration are the top two issues, and Trump has an advantage on both.
If it was a book, it'd be a blockbuster, a bestseller. And if it was a movie, it'd be #1 in Hollywood. It's been an extraordinary number of weeks. We've got an interesting run to the finish line. I'd love to chat with you before the election.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Matt.
Take care.
You too.